What's going on, everyone? So there's been a lot of talk this offseason of like, what do the Knicks do with Julius Randle? Right now, if he can kind of rework his game a little bit, kind of fit in and play amongst the guys, play more team, then I think Julius Randle makes a lot of sense for the Knicks. A guy in his playmaking ability to rebound, right, on any night, go get you 20. Right? Like, he has his positives. But he also has some negatives, right? His style of play, is that going to work alongside OG and Mikal Bridges and Brunson and all these guys, right? Like, he's not going to get the attempts that he's currently getting. Now, and is he willing to kind of make the sacrifices and do those things, right? Like, he went from being the guy to now one of the guys. And is that something that he's going to be able to really kind of fit in and come in? Because, I mean, if he plays the way that he has the last few seasons, it's not going to work the way that the Knicks need it to. Also, Julius Randle doesn't have the best, like, he's very inconsistent at times. And on top of being very inconsistent at times, he's also a guy that has not had the best playoff history, right? So there is these looming kind of questions. Also, the Knicks do have some needs, particularly the center position, right? So it's like, man, if you could turn Julius Randle into like a backup center, right? Like that may end up being the best thing. And then you could go with like a Brunson, Hart, Bridges, OG, and Mitchell Robinson, and then have like that backup center. Like, you have enough flexibility and guys that can kind of fill spots and needs and stuff. Because like right now they're banking on a Mitchell Robinson who doesn't have the best injury history, and then Precious, who's undersized, right? Is that the guy you really want to rely on at the center position all season? Probably not, right? Or, 40 games for this, probably not, right? Like, it'd be nice to go get a legit center. And Julius Randle may end up being your best route to go get that. Also, does Julius Randle at some point kind of feel some type of way and goes, you know what, like, get me out of here type thing. Like, I think, time to trade me can always be a possibility. But we'll see how that plays out. However, there is something that has kind of sparked some fuel to the fire of the Knicks. And that is that somebody shared that they weren't selling Julius Randle jerseys. You got Brunson, you got Bridges, you got Hart, you got OG, you got all of them except for Julius Randle. And Julius Randle says, "Word, this how y'all feel?" ? And then at New York Knicks, and then has some laughing faces. Now look, this is Julius Randle kind of making a joke of it and laughter and stuff. And look, it's not like his jersey was probably somewhere, and this person just kind of took this picture. There's a whole wall there, right? Like, is that it? Does it just have those 6 jerseys? There's, 15 players on the Knicks, right? But it is just funny that, like, you have something like this, and it came from, Big Nick energy and stuff, and it's just like, it just further stirs that rumor mill, right? And kind of gets things talking in the media and all that stuff. And again, I want to make this clear that this is Julius Randle's kind of laughing at this as like a joke, and his jerseys were, I'm sure, for sale. I don't know for certain because, again, wasn't in the pictures, and 2, I'm not in New York, but my guess is jerseys are somewhere, right? But again, a lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people just see these types of things and run with it. A lot of people, see Julius Randle and his response. But the thing that I find interesting, and the reason I wanted to talk about this, outside of just like letting people know, like, hey, this is just, he's joking, right? Like, don't take it too serious. It's this. Julius Randle says, "The truth shall come to light," and then has like this shade thing, right? Like, and you can interpret this a million ways, right? But, he could have just kind of had the joke, left it at that, called it a day, but then a little after, boom, you get this. And of course, again, it causes the rumor mill, it causes the sparks, causes the like, hey, what's going on here, right? Like, is this a cryptic? These players know that media and fans and people, they run with it. And it's like, well, what truth, right? Now, look, he could just be talking about, hey, like the truth would come to light on whether they're selling my jerseys or not. Because again, it's very vague. It's not like very descriptive and, he's talking about jerseys, talking about this. But more likely than not, because it was, little after the first post, probably is one of those things where it's tied to the jerseys. But again, you had a lot of conversation about like, does this mean Julius Randle's getting traded? Is there something going on? Is there something we need to know? Right? Like, hold up, time out. Like, you don't think Julius Randle sees that stuff and hears that stuff? And I mean, that's how he was able to find the original post. Of course he does. Again, it's more about planting the seeds and kind of creating that stir and that buzz. And then you have people that, Julius Randle, he's the guy, right? And it's like, but he's not. Brunson's the guy, right? Julius Randle at this point is expendable. Is your best trade chip, and you might be put in a position where you have no choice but to trade him. Now, look, I would love to see him work. It's a guy that can do a little bit of everything. It's a guy that, is near triple-double. Right? This is a guy that, it can be a powerhouse at times. Right? And when Julius Randle is on, he's fun. He's fun to watch. Get that head of steam, go down, make plays. Right? Like, Julius Randle is a very unique player. He's a lot of fun to watch. But again, does his skill set really kind of fit the mold and the shape of this current roster? And again, you have the reports. I mean, you look from like reports, like just pulling things up, right? You have, Julius Randle shades the New York Knicks. Then you have, Julius Randle feeling slighted by the lack of jerseys on sale at MSG. Julius Randle appears to shade the Knicks on IG amid contract buzz. Right? Again, it's the conversation. It's putting that out there. But like, you look at Julius Randle, and like, let's just like get back to basketball and stats and stuff here, right? Last year, 46 games, not great. Look at the previous year, 77 games, great, right? It's good. He's been averaging basically 18 attempts since he came to the Knicks. His first year, he averaged 15.7. But since then, it's basically 18 attempts per game. I don't see him getting 18 attempts per game with OG and Bridges now. I just don't. Right? And again, Brunson's the guy. So Brunson's going to get his attempts. And OG's attempts got to come from somewhere. And Mikal Bridges' attempts got to come from somewhere. Right? So I don't see Randle getting 18.2 attempts per game. Now, again, you look at his field goal percentage from the Knicks. 46%. Will be nice, round up, 46%, 41%, 46%, 47%. So he's basically been around a 46% field goal percentage since being with the Knicks. Let's look at his 3%. You have the first year, 27.7%. Then you had that big skyrocket year, right? That year where he just, all-star, just absolute money. Shot 41.1% from three on 5.5 attempts per game. 5.5 attempts per game. 41%. Looked great. Shot 47.4% from 2-point range, right? 6.2 attempts. But you look at his 3-point percentage all the other years. Right? Again, first year was 27.7. Then the year after the 41.1, you have 30.8, 34.3, and he shot 8.3 attempts. And then he has last year, which he shot 5.3 attempts, and he's 31.1%. Again, lack of consistency. You look at his 2-point percentage. First year, 51.5%. Second year, 47.4%. 45.8%. 55.3%. 53.9%. Right? If he's in that 55% range, okay, pretty good. But again, lack of consistency. You need him to be as consistent as possible. You need him to be able to make plays for others and do multiple things and is he willing to sacrifice? Is he willing to get back to being, a 15 to 16 point a game guy? Because look, again, you look at him with the Knicks, right? That he had the 1 year with the Pelicans, which he was 21.4 points per game. Then he goes to the Knicks, 19.5, 24.1, 20.1, 25.1, 24. Basically been a 20 point a game guy. Right? But is he going to be able to be that with OG, with Mikal Bridges, with all these guys? I don't know. I don't think he is. Right? Maybe he will. Maybe he will be able. Maybe they even need that. But just the way he plays and the way that he goes and approaches the game, it just, I don't think it's going to work the way that they need it to. Right? I don't think it's going to work the way that it is. I think you're going to come to the conclusion like, hey, we got to trade Julius Randle. We got to look to move off. Now, again, maybe I'm completely wrong, but again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.